Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you're watching my show, as always, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC on ESPN, Covington versus Lawler, welterweight clash of the ages, two icons and former UFC champs in the welterweight division. Colby, as far as I'm concerned, never lost the belt, so I should say current champ, excuse me, my mistake there. Because, I mean, he never lost it due to a fight. He was only unceremoniously stripped of the belt due to injury, which I think should have never happened. And then Robbie Lawler, former UFC welterweight champ. And this was a stacked card. The main card, I think, was better main card than the last pay-per-view from the previous week. But anyways, excuse me, it's a little hot in here. And yeah, so this is post-fight rundown of the main card, and let's get started. So in the welterweight division, the main event, we had Colby Chaos Covington versus Ruthless Robbie Lawler. And Covington landed numerous takedowns. It was at least 10. It was like 10 at some point in the fight, and then just more accumulated or takedown attempts. And Colby just kept busy, stayed active. He threw so many punches, and even if he only landed so many here and there, just the sheer number and volume really added up to a lot. Robbie Lawler was just overwhelmed, and Robbie, didn't win a single round, unfortunately. But this showcased the talent that Colby Covington has and how he could possibly be the guy to beat Kamaru Usman. So it's going to be very exciting and interesting to see that fight when it finally arrives. I can't wait for it. And to see the first family in attendance, or members of the first family in attendance cage side at a UFC event, pretty much for the first time in MMA history, and the sitting president of the United States tweeting about this match and congratulating the uncrowned champ in the main event after his victory was just monumental. I mean, whether you like the current president or not, you got to think about MMA's never been talked about by any sitting president that I'm aware of. I mean, from Bill Clinton and Obama, there's never been, or George W. Bush, I don't believe any of these presidents have ever sat and watched MMA and kept tabs on it. So we've come a long way, and I think whether you like the president or not, you should at least appreciate the fact that our president's acknowledging this sport, because we've had previous presidents acknowledge, Super Bowl champs, NBA champs, maybe Stanley Cup champs, Women's World Cup. But hey, if DC or Stipe wins a heavyweight belt, you never see the current president go, "Hey, congrats." But in this case, we have a president that congratulates a winner in a UFC main event. I mean, that is big for the MMA world to have that kind of exposure and talk about. Anyways, enough of that. So yeah, Colby Covington won unanimous decision, won every round. Then in the lightweight division, the co-main event, we had Jim Miller versus Clay Guida. Now this one, oh boy, I got this one wrong. I thought Clay Guida would just, toss around Jim Miller with his wrestling and maybe knock him out or just land enough takedowns to win a decision. But yeah, technical submission, guillotine choke, round 1, 58 seconds. Great win for Jim Miller. What a veteran in the UFC. And Clay Guida, he'll be back. He's a tough, durable veteran. He'll be back for more. And I can't wait to see more of both these guys. Then in the lightweight division, we had Nasrat Haqparast versus Joaquim Silva. Yeah, this one I got wrong. I thought Silva, his jiu-jitsu skills and his heavy hands for a lightweight would do the trick and be enough, and I thought that Silva has fought the tougher competition overall, so that's why I picked him in my pre-fight show to win this. But yeah, Nasrat, he trains with GSP and deals with the TriStar guys, Faraz Zahabi, so This guy's definitely a star in the making, whether we like it or not. And yeah, he won KO punches round 2, and it was a great victory for this young up-and-coming fighter. Then in the middleweight division, we had Gerard Meerschaert versus Trevin Giles. Yeah, Meerschaert, trains with Duke Roufus. Great striking, great submission skills. And it was a technical submission guillotine choke round 3 for Gerard. This fight, I was looking forward to this fight because I knew there was going to be a finish. And when I got towards the tail end of the fight, I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be a decision. And then, no, it was a finish. Yeah, I felt like this was going to be a fun fight to watch. Then in a catchweight bout, because Ma missed weight, we had Scott Holtzman versus Dong Hung Ma, and this was TKO doctor stoppage after the second round. And Scott Holtzman's definitely someone that's going to be around longer in the UFC. He's had some great fights, and Scott Holtzman's wrestling, I think, will help him stay alive in the UFC, and definitely he's getting better and better as a well-rounded fighter. So this was a great fight. Then in the light heavyweight division, we had Kennedy Chekuwu versus Darko Stojic. And yeah, this one I picked Darko, and I got it wrong on my pre-fight. I went 3-3 on the main card, if you're keeping track. So I broke even on this one. But yeah, Kennedy won by decision, unanimous. And yeah, Darko had 2 points docked in this fight. I believe 1 in the second round, 1 in the third round. And I think that this fight should have been a draw. I think Darko was winning pretty much all the rounds. Maybe the first round. I forget how I scored the first round, but I think this should have been a draw. I think with Darko winning in each round, and then he gets docked 2 points, just the match should have been like a majority draw or something like that. So yeah, I kind of felt like this fight should have been a draw. But yeah, Kennedy won. He did have illegal strikes to the groin towards him in the middle and later parts of the fight. So the point deductions were justifiable. Do I think this is a big robbery? No. Kennedy won fair and square. I feel like, I disagree with the decision, but we've seen worse decisions. And yeah, it did make this fight interesting to see how it's going to play out when it got to the judges' scorecards due to the 2-point deductions. So overall, great card. I was very excited for this card because of Colby Covington and Robbie Lawler and the history with those two. Then stay tuned for my pre-fight Shevchenko versus Carmouche 2 for the UFC Flyweight Women's Championship of the World. That's going to be exciting, and it's going to be the very first UFC in Uruguay, I believe. So stay tuned for that one, and as always, until then, see ya.